This journey is almost over. From Koblenz to the Netherlands to the sea isn't far now. Soon we will arrive to the north and Magic Carpet will sail once again. But first, there's just a few more places to see and a few more days navigating the mighty Rhine River. Join us as we explore Koblenz for an evening, sail through a stormy day, and arrive to the modern city of Cologne.
Woohoo! We made it!
We made it! Yay! I'm Maya, and this is Aladino. In mid-November, we converted our 28-foot sailboat into a riverboat, and we started going north, from the Mediterranean all the way to the North Sea. In front of us, we had 2,000 kilometers and 200 locks. Join us as we navigate river currents, discover incredible places, cruise through canals, wait out a global pandemic in the heart of France, and record the whole voyage with a new episode every Friday. This is North Through the Continent. We're going north through the continent. We're on the home stretch now. Soon, this journey north through the continent will be over. Not that it's quite over yet. There's still several more cities and several more days left, but I can almost smell the salt water again, and I feel impatient to arrive. But my excitement to reach the finish line isn't meant to belittle this journey. We've fought our way up rivers, been rapidly swept down rivers, enjoyed the joys of rural France, and been humbled by the scale of industrial Germany. Along the whole way, we've experienced enough to fill a book or to fill over 25 episodes of a YouTube series. And although we're so close to the end, we still didn't want to gloss past the last few days on the Rhine River. So, let's begin this episode in Koblenz, where we left the boat at a dock while we went to get a lay of the land. Alright, so we've been walking along the waterfront, and there's like these nice parks and everything, but we haven't really gotten into the main town yet. But just up ahead now, I can see the cable cars. So I had heard of these before. Koblenz has a cable car that goes over the river up to this big fortress. And as long as it's not too late, I think it's about 5, so there should be a few more hours that it's running. I think we should go across the river on the cable car. It looks like fun.
Let's go have a look when the last one leaves, and if we have extra time, I would like to show you something further along the road, still on this side.
The frustrating thing about Aladino is that he's already been everywhere. He grew up with fairly nomadic parents and probably saw more before the age of 7 than I've seen to this day. Koblenz was no different, and he wanted to show me something before we got on the cable car.
Cool, they run till 11 at night, and it actually gets cheaper in 15 minutes. So perfect to go check out the very tip here. This one, and it's called the German Corner. But there's a cool statue, I remember.
This statue is a pretty imposing sight to behold. It was originally erected in 1897 and depicts William I, the first German emperor. The statue was built to celebrate his role in the unification of Germany, but as with many other things, it was destroyed in World War II. Amidst some controversy, a replica was installed in 1993, supposed to again celebrate a unified Germany following the East and West rejoining in 1990. This river, which has given us so much joy, so much frustration, so much beauty, so much stress, but it looked so peaceful from up here, glowing in the evening sun. The cable car skimmed along, bringing us up to yet another ancient landmark, or so we hoped.
It stopped. It just stopped.
Now it's bouncing a little bit. Wow, we're pretty high up. Oh, now it moves again.
That was weird.
When we safely reached the top, we stepped off and walked towards Breitstein Fortress. This fortress was built on the same site as a previous fortress which was destroyed by the French in 1801. Relations between these neighbors have often been strained, but the current fortress has never been attacked. Apparently there's a youth hostel here that occupies part of the fortress, but mostly we were just there for the views. The Rhine River meandered along below us. But as the sun set, we started getting pretty hungry, so we decided to head back to the boat. We hadn't seen much of Koblenz, but we were eager to keep going. The sea was getting so close. The next morning was cold and gray, and when we went to make coffee, we realized we had run out of alcohol for our stove. Not off to a good start, but we were hoping to make it to Cologne that evening, which was an exciting thought. You wouldn't believe it from looking at the light outside, considering it's the middle of summer at the moment. You might think it's still really early, but it's actually noon pretty much. It's quite late. We slept in for sure because it was raining and gloomy. Why get up? And we have a long voyage in front of us if we want to make it to Cologne. I don't know if we're actually going to make it that far, but now it's become our priority to go wherever we can buy some more alcohol for our stove, because I really want to be able to make some hot food, especially with the weather like this. So we'll see where we get to today. So we just passed the German corner, which we visited last night. It's that impressive statue, and that's where the river Mosel meets the Rhine. We didn't actually know that much about the river Mosel, other than that it's one of the options we actually could have taken to go north through the continent had the waterways through Belgium, etc. been open when we left Chalon-sur-Saône. And last night when we returned to the harbor, we actually had quite a long conversation with our neighbors. They're from this area. And they said that the River Mosel is actually one of the most beautiful cruising areas that they know of in Germany, that there's lots of vineyards and it's very relaxed. It's more for pleasure boats rather than commercial. I think there are commercial boats still, but it's a very different atmosphere apparently than what's on the Rhine here. They really strongly suggested, especially after finding out we had a YouTube channel, that we take the Mosel and travel down it for 3 days just to experience it. And it did sound lovely. And I feel almost bad not going down there and showing you all through the videos, but we're really ready to have the mast up. It's been a long, long journey all the way through this entire continent. It's time to get to the ocean. The Rhine River has been an interesting end to this voyage. Although there are many beautiful things along the river, which I've probably spent a disproportionate amount of time filming, there's also a lot of big industry and constant traffic. Wow. So here got a barge. Over there we've got a passenger ship. On the other side of this barge is another barge which you can't see right now. And then there's another one coming towards us. Let's see if we can see the second barge over here now. There it is.
The Rhine is not a fun river to navigate. It's a good way to get from A to B, but it's a highway, not a country road. It's fast and efficient, not charming and meandering. The stops along the way add some excitement, but as far as actual boating is concerned, we were very ready to say goodbye to the Rhine.
So here's one boat coming up with blue flag, here's another coming up without. So I guess we're going in between them.
And then something a bit weird happened.
Hey guys, so something a bit strange just happened, and I thought I would come and tell you the story in the V-berth because it's so windy outside I don't know how the mic will pick it up. It's a bit quieter up here. Anyway, so we were coming down river and we didn't actually film it because by the time we realized something strange was happening, we were kind of already past. But there was a big ship, it looked like heading towards us. It was directly in the middle of the channel. And it was one of those huge ships where it's actually 4 barges tied together with containers on it. So this absolute behemoth. And as we got closer, we realized that it was actually anchored in the middle of the channel. It seemed very strange to us. Yeah, I mean, we've seen these ships anchored before, but in the middle of a shipping channel, that's odd. So we passed by, sort of confused, and then as we continued on, we were looking back and we saw that they had separated the barges. They split them down the middle. And the 2 that were anchored were the ones without the engine, and then the one that had the engines on, or like this is hard to explain. The 2 that had the engine on it still were not anchored. They were just free. And so we were looking back, watching this, we were like, what the hell's going on? Like, I understand that eventually they might have to split these barges apart, but it just seems so weird to do it in the middle of the channel, and it was just very strange. So anyway, we continued on, not really knowing what it was all about. And as we continued on, we came upon another boat, and it was sort of like an official looking work boat. It wasn't a police boat and it wasn't a fire boat, but it wasn't quite just like a work boat either. It was some sort of official looking thing with big radar and lights and everything. And it was acting a bit strangely, but it didn't have any flags up. Like there's signals, there's flags like there are on the road to tell you certain things about navigation on the waterway, and it didn't have any up. So we were like, this is weird. So as we approached, we just checked with it on the VHF that it's okay to pass, and they said yes it is. And then as soon as we passed, they jetted out into the middle of the channel and they put up 2 red flags, which means that you're not allowed to pass them at all anymore. And they sent out a VHF call to all the other boats coming up river that they're not allowed to pass, something to do with the barge in the middle of the river. So I really don't know what's going on, but they've shut off navigation now. We just squeaked through. We were the last boat to go through, and something's happening with this barge. So I wish I could give you a more satisfying end to the drama because I don't know what's going on, and I doubt I'll find out. But yeah, it's just quite funny. We haven't seen something like that happen on the river so far in this journey. So that's my story. I hope it made sense.
The day kept trundling on, past grey skies and old mansions and small German-style towns, past barges and castles and more barges, until the sun began to peer out between the clouds. Soon we'd be in Cologne, a modern city filled with lots of beer and famous for its wild months-long party called Carnival. We weren't arriving in Carnival season, but we're still looking forward to exploring this more modern city. We'd be there soon now. With every passing kilometer marker, we were drawing nearer to Cologne, nearer to the Netherlands, nearer to the end of this voyage.
arriving in Köln! We made it!
And you stole my sunglasses!
Yeah, it's really sunny at the moment.
But they're my sunglasses!
It's okay, nobody cares.
Oh, everybody cares.
We are in Köln.
I've gotten so many comments about those sunglasses. By the way, you can buy them. There's a link in the description.
Oh, there's another thing. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what this boat is doing behind us.
No, I'm pretty excited. The harbor is very much, it seems to be in the city center from the map, and yeah, I can also see the cathedral poking out, and the harbor is just in front of us, so it could be a pretty central one.
Yay.
Awesome.
I think this boat might overtake us.
That's
the
okay.
big ferry. Yeah, just so you know.
Yeah.
Because we have to cross the channel soon.
Cologne's famous crane buildings glinted in the afternoon light. We had arrived.
The harbor's around the corner, and just here on the corner is a Schokoladenmuseum. We are fighting hard against the current.
Turning off the river is always a difficult maneuver. We've found the best way is to do a full 180 to turn the bow upriver and push into the exit. Otherwise, the river tries to sweep the boat downstream sideways, which makes getting into the exit at all quite difficult.
We made it!
We made it! Yay!
It's not quite the ocean yet, but it's also, it was a big day. 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
With a lot of traffic. But it's good, just about dinner time and golden hour.
Think
How
about
perfect.
the fact that when we were going up the Rhone, 40 kilometers was like a giant day.
Oh yeah.
And now a big day is 100.
Totally. And we even started late.
Yeah.
And we still made it. But
Yeah.
that was, 40 kilometers was also due to short days.
Yeah.
But going at 3 knots average, totally. It already looks pretty sweet. I love that mix of keeping the historical and old and then putting in some modern architecture. Yeah, you see that all over from here, going further. Amsterdam, Den Haag, Rotterdam. So also visible here.
Well, we hadn't made it quite yet. Now we had to find a dock.
This turned into a bit of an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we went down this finger first.
Yeah.
And then it started becoming shallower and shallower, and when we saw 1.7 we were like, it's probably
And there were
going
no
to be...
free spaces.
Yeah, no free spaces, so trying to reverse or to turn in that tight spot was a little difficult because there's also, the wind is funneling.
Yeah.
So I tried in the natural direction by getting the help of the prop walk, because that usually pulls the stern over, but it didn't work because just when we were about to be able to turn, the wind pulled the bow over again.
Yeah.
But then with a little more RPM we were able to, and then we came all the way around.
And then there was this
here we
German
are.
guy on the dock. He was like, why don't you just reverse all the way out? We're like, yeah, it doesn't work in this
Yeah.
boat. It really doesn't.
No. Yeah. No, but we know the boat quite well
Yeah.
now, and we can always
Oh,
do
you
it.
did amazing. I mean, that was a really difficult situation actually, just to turn around in such tight
Thanks.
corners with wind, with a boat that doesn't reverse,
Thanks.
with a mast overhang. You did amazing.
Yes, it's like the whipped cream on top after 10 hours of motoring. Cannot all just be bland motoring.
Anyway, I'm starving. Let's go.
Good. Oh, let's go have a Kölsch. That's what I remember.
Is that from here?
The beer from Cologne is quite famous.
Ah.
It's Kölsch.
Okay.
And so we set off into the fading daylight, excited to explore a new city.
We had a few plans for Cologne. We wanted to walk through the streets and admire the street art and the international cuisine. We wanted to drink a Kolsch and meet some local patrons. But to see the whole story of Cologne, you'll just have to wait for the next episode. Thank you so much to all of you for watching. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It really, really helps us. And if you want to share your thoughts, leave us a comment. I do read almost all of them. I would like to say an extra big thank you to our patrons for making this entire series possible. We're so grateful to our patrons, and every week we post a patron-only article that lets them know what we're doing in real time. Patrons also can direct message with us, and we will always respond to that. If you'd like to become a patron, you can do so for as little as $2 a month. We really appreciate it, and we'll make sure we tell you so. And an extra big thank you to these folks for really going the extra mile to make sure these videos keep being produced. We'll see you all next week.